All right, ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of today's meeting is to address the concerns that we have faced and caused in our communications. We at MatchBeats right now are facing an incredibly serious problem involving what I just said. The purpose of this meeting is to go over the expectations at this office for any sort of email, phone call, memo, anything like that that you should be reading on your own time, but for whatever reason, we appear to not be fulfilling our obligations on that end. Hopefully, we can remedy some of this today with this quick reminder course and then move forward. Communications of any type must be prompt, professional, and precise. These are not hard things to accomplish, but if you start becoming lazy, you're going to end up seeing more and more errors due to the fact that you didn't follow these guidelines. First, they got to be prompt. You need to respond to every email within 24 hours. Any phone call needs to be responded within the workday. You may be asking, why can't I call when I get off work from my cell phone? The reason is that person might not be in the office and might also not be too receptive to the idea of talking to you after their workday is done. Last piece, read corporate memos within the workday. I know sometimes that it seems to be a tad laborious and unnecessary, but they're made to help you perform better. And on top of that, they are also made as succinctly as possible. And you're looking at a maximum of 2 or 3 minutes, and that's going to keep you within the loop of what we're trying to achieve. Next, they must be precise. Any email that you send must be direct and to the point. We know how much we hate getting emails where someone goes on and on about something that doesn't relate to what we're currently talking about, and it drives us nuts. Avoid that and just contain the information that is necessary to complete whatever sort of interaction you're working on with that person. Because we deal with so much cutting edge technology and because of the possible legal ramifications if we don't follow what we need to, consult any related parties in the email that you're sending. If you're talking to a contractor, and this is going to come up later when we discuss some of the mistakes that we've made, but if you're talking to a software contractor about an idea that you have, go through the legal team first, make sure that it's okay. We don't want to lose our ideas. We don't want to infringe upon his own ideas, so do that in the beginning, and then go ahead and send any sort of communique that you are. Lastly, CC related parties. If you can't consult, this is a good last resort. Due to any sort of time constraints or people are not there for whatever reason, send the email, but CC always the head of the operations manager, which would be Mr. Smith, and then also the legal team. There have been a few instances where somebody sent something that wasn't quite as optimal as it could have been, but because it was CC'd, the legal team was able to get on top of it, and it ended up becoming a non-issue. So, direct, consult the legal parties, and also make sure that you CC those individuals. The last is professional. This is the easiest one for you to understand, but I want to go over it because it has been apparent in a few of the emails that I've received recently that we're not examining the things that we're doing. They must be formal in tone. Keep that in mind. Keep slang out of it. I know some of you guys think it creates a rapport with individuals, but a lot of times that can be detrimental, especially if you don't know them very well. Include pertinent links. We want to save our investors' time. We want to save our coworkers' time. If you include a reference to anything else, make sure that you have a hyperlink there so that they can see it immediately. Carefully edit. I cannot stress this enough. You lose so much of your power as a professional if you can't write correctly. The second they see a misspelled word, it doesn't matter how good of a doctor you are, they think, wow, if they can't spell this correct, then how do I expect them to work as assiduously as I would want? Last, place important correspondence in retrievable folders. We get an insane amount of email at this company, and we need to be able to pull those emails up that end up becoming important for whatever situation we currently are working in. So that deals with the external communication piece. Now, to give some specifics and how to avoid it, I'm going to show you some recent mistakes that we've had at this office. The first one, and it's notorious, we had this at the beginning when our company initiated, and we now include it in any incoming employee handbook, the OOQ email. This email was sent when we first were initiating our Match Beats concept, and we had the program that launched our company that matched the beat of any song to the speed that you were running on the treadmill to kind of facilitate your running and make it a more enjoyable experience. This was from, at the time, one of our software developers to another software engineer. A couple things about this immediately. Number one, it's a personal email. We lose our intellectual property rights as a company if an email is sent from a personal email as opposed to our company email. Now, the software engineer that we worked with here, luckily for us, was just contracting with us. He was not contracting with any other company. So he respected the integrity that this was our idea, but he could have easily run with it himself and we would have had no recourse of action. Second thing, just take a second to read it. I had an idea that instead of examining the height of the individual, we should also consider the inseam. I think this would create significantly more accuracy. It's got a couple grammatical errors. It's written without a proper closing, just the name, not the last name. If this contractor didn't know who it was, he might not even know the company that he's writing from. All of these could end up leading to monumental problems for us in the future, so avoid that. Write emails from our corporate email account and make sure that you write it following just the basic fundamentals of writing emails. Have a closing, have an introduction, include your full name, maybe contact information afterwards. All of those need to be considered in this process. Secondly, this happened just 2 weeks ago, the patent tardiness. So the product that we are currently trying to launch, which is that personal match beats that fits in the shoe that discusses the beats as you run. This is a huge opportunity for us. We obtained the patent through one of our own workers coming up with the idea, but when we needed to make the declaration to the US government for the patent, we were given a window of about a week from our legal team, and the patent wasn't done until the very end of the 6th day. Had we have missed this patent, we would have not been able to declare this as one of our own products. Someone else would have swooped in and gotten it. So if you have a timeline, a deadline on a particular piece on a document, such as this, a very important document I might add, you must follow that timeline to the T and get it in as soon as possible, not only so that we receive what we need to receive, but also just the lack of stress when you get something done on time. The memos were sent out daily reminding people that they needed to get this done, and still we almost didn't do it. And then lastly, and this is the most disappointing, but we need to discuss it so that we avoid this in the future. Lord was in agreement with us to launch the new project after that patent was passed and accepted, and we were told by her PR people that she would have a 1-day window where she would be able to look over a contract and sign it, and that was October 10th. We wrote up the contract, but the person responsible for sending that contract ended up waiting an extra day and sending it on the 11th. By that time, Lord had already signed with another endorser, and we lost her, which is a huge disappointment. She could have really helped us. We have another person coming up that we are also in contact with, trying to get them signed, and again, we need to have respect for these type of timelines that other individuals have, especially in the entertainment industry. I don't feel like I need to outline the consequences, but it is important. We lost Lord already. I think that could potentially hurt our sales unless we can get somebody quickly on the fly with the same amount of cachet. This also, and we all have experienced this as well, leads to just dissension among us, and it also leads to a little bit of acrimony. We're not happy when one department doesn't do their end and we do ours, and conversely, they're not happy when we don't follow through when we say we will. And inevitably, if we lose more of these, if we have more of these detractions, it's going to end up leading to lost hours and losses in profits. So we got to fix this, guys. We got to get it done. Lastly, I was going to include a quote that was somewhat trite and uplifting, but I don't think that's necessary. We're all adults here. We can easily fix these. It's not difficult. Rereading an email 2 times probably is going to give you only an extra 2 minutes of work, which is nothing that we're not capable of. Also, following timelines, that's an expectation that's true for any job, and we have proven in the past that that has never been an issue. And I don't think it's a huge issue now. I just think it's something that we need to kind of fine tune. And lastly, we have a standard set here of excellence that has been founded on all the great work of all of you, and we just need to continue that and maybe try to raise it just a little bit. All right, you guys, have a nice day.